Yo, it's your boy Desus Nice.
And I'm the Kid Mero, and you're in studio with Hollywood Reporter.
Guys, welcome to LA.
Thanks for having us.
That was so much fun. I went to your show last night.
Yeah.
Had a ball?
Yes, I had a ball.
Felt strong. Felt like
It was
a good
fun.
show.
There were a couple of things that I had to Google the next day, like the AKAs.
Right, yeah.
And I found this amazing Reddit thread where people break down all of your AKAs.
And what they mean and everything.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Bodega Hive. They're fanatics.
That's great. Yeah, your fans are really,
They're on
really
it.
heavily involved. It's like they're like X-Files fans. They're just
Yeah.
breaking everything down.
They're breaking down conspiracy theories.
What do you think they meant? In episode 34, they said this, and then 138, they said that. It all makes sense now.
Yes, referencing episodes.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, how does that feel? Is that
It's
amazing, man.
It's one thing to have the podcast and have the show, but then you have this whole third level, breaks the wall, this fan base that's rabid, and anything we put out, any kind of content, they watch it, any shirts, the saying we have is die for the hive, because the name of it, the fan base is the Bodega Hive, and sometimes it feels like if we asked them to kill themselves, they would, because they are fanatic.
So they're bordering on cult.
Made a joke, we had a show, and I made a joke, if you die for the hive, jump off the balcony to the people on the balcony, and one dude actually stuck his leg over. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I was just joking. It was a joke. This is a comedy show. Please. I don't know if we're insured.
One of the things that I noticed in the show is that you were talking a lot about LA. You knew a lot about LA. Do you get familiar with the local area when you're doing a stand-up show, or do you actually love LA?
It depends, because sometimes, sadly, when we do tours, we don't get to see outside of a 2-block radius of the hotel. So we'll be in Boston, hey, you guys have a Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Is that the number one restaurant in Boston? But we've been to LA so many times, and we've stayed in so many different places in LA, and we have friends and family in LA. We actually know LA. We can go to restaurants.
Yeah.
We were walking around,
and you bump into people you know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, not walking, because nobody walks in LA. Yeah.
But you go to restaurants and you see famous people, and I ask him, I go, who's that?
I'm like, that's Diego Luna.
Who?
Yeah.
From Dora the Explorer?
No, he's the guy in the movie. He won an award.
Who knows? Yeah. And then I just walk up to some Emmy winner and I'm like, hey,
how are you?
Hey, what do you do? I hope the film thing works out for you.
Thanks,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Right.
Hi, I'm Steven Spielberg, by the way.
hey.
I directed a bunch.
I like
of
Mero.
movies.
You know this Judi Dench? You know her?
Yes, she's actually very famous.
So should she be on the show or something? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's call the booker. Let's find out.
Judi Dench is cool because she does swear like a sailor.
Nice.
You should have her.
That's the only reason we have the show, is to make famous people swear.
Yeah.
We just want to get the most clean cut people on TV and just get them on our show and just ruin them.
We made Anderson Cooper drop an F-bomb also.
That's what I was going to say. Anderson Cooper, he really opened up on your show. How did you get him to do that?
We're good friends with Andy. We've gone to dinner with Andy, and Andy was like, these guys, Andy loves us. Shout out to the homie. And he told Anderson, he was like,
he filled him in.
You got to come hang with these guys. And the thing is, people love hanging with us, and they just get so relaxed. So sometimes we have to tell people, yo, don't ruin your career. You're having a lot of fun on the show, but don't go off the deep end. There are cameras.
Please, don't drink half a bottle of rum on stage.
I would say you guys share. You definitely share some qualities with Andy Cohen.
Oh yeah.
So has anybody been pissed off once they've been on your show?
No.
We're really nice guys. We're
So
pretty
you're not like
affable.
Andy Cohen.
We're not like Andy Cohen.
We're not
and
like-
we've actually been on Andy Cohen's show, and he'll ask questions. I was like, I told you that in confidence. But no, I mean, that's Andy's brand, and that's what you kind of expect from him. And with us, it's we don't really do gotcha questions and stuff. And
it's like gossip. Andy's show's a little more
gossipy,
based,
a little messy.
You know what I mean? Our thing is more just our reactions to pop culture, sports, politics, whatever's going on in the world.
And generally, when we're sitting there and we're asking these people questions, their answers are we're legit asking these questions. We have no idea about the answers. Yeah. So we're really we're not there to do a gotcha. We're yo, what was the first big purchase you ever made? We want to know, because we want to make the same purchase.
Right. There's no manipulation.
No, not yet.
Machination.
Season 3 though.
It's a long con.
Do you feel like the more episodes you get behind you, the more you kind of build up a new skill set with the interviews? Because that's something that
we've always
do as much before.
People are always saying that we do strong interviews, because I think it's just that we're interested in people and we want to know, and we ask questions I think regular people on the street want to know. We don't do the weird promos. So this is your third movie. What do you think the box office gross is going to be?
So what was the process like when you were sitting in your trailer waiting to go on? Like, what do you think about?
So we don't do that. And then also we have the two different types of interviews on the Showtime show. We have the ones outside the studio at Milk Studio, which are more intimate, depending on who's there. Like those, you can really get into the soul of people. People open up. People talk about like really deep stuff. But then you have the in-studio ones, which is more raucous. You're feeding off the audience. Those are like funny, hilarious. So you know which guest you interview at which location. And like Andy and Anderson, that's definitely in front of a live audience. They were made for a live audience. But then someone like who's a little more low-key, like Common, you interview them at Milk Studios and you get a better interview because they're not afraid of the audience, or the audience is going to dictate what they tell you. So the more interviews we're doing, like we're hitting our stride, we're learning how to, ask better questions. Not just so. What do you do?
How do you spell your name?
You got money?
Your name is Don Cheadle. Is that one N or two?
How much money you got? Give me some money.
Can I borrow like $5?
Give me $200. Mero got 4 kids.
Can you buy me lunch?
Yeah.
But it's just fun. You know what I mean? And it's like working out. Like we're getting more reps, and the more reps we get, like the better and the smoother everything goes.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, like he said, we've just been interested in being like, who are you? Like, who are you as a person?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, forget your achievements and all that stuff. Like, that's cool. Hooray! You've answered all those questions in the previous 10 interviews on your press run. Now tell us what your favorite drink is, or you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you fart in bed? Things like that.
It reminds me of when we had.
Did you ask that of AOC?
No,
she was like, "No, I do not."
When we had Anna Kendrick on our show, we were filming in the Bronx, and before we started filming, she went into a bodega. It was like she had to go in there and get something, and this girl was just like, "Yo, it's the Cups girl." That's all she knew of her, and I feel like that's what every interview, we're those people from the Bronx that don't know anything about, like we might know one thing you've done, and we're just like, yo, fill us in on the rest of your career.
Yeah, put us on.
And it might be a little annoying if you're accomplished, but listen, we're endearing, and we want to know. Like, so you done any new movies since '93? Really?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, I gotta check that out.
Wow, okay.
Oh, a whole Emmy, wow.
Good for you. When was that? 2013?
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know.
Now, if you've never been to the Bronx, can people still enjoy your show?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I always say like if you peel back the layer of like New York, we're from the Bronx, whatever, there's always like relatability there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're talking about like being annoyed at work, or like, a commute, or like, I complain about my kids doing messed up things, and like there's always a human side to everybody. So no matter where you're from, you can find something to relate to in the show.
And even if you've never been to the Bronx, like if you listen to the podcast and now you go to the Bronx, like it's like when you go on vacation and you've actually researched where you're going, you have an itinerary. Like people always DMing us like, yo, I'm in front of Yankee Stadium. Yo, I just had a chopped cheese. Yo, I'm on East Tremont. So you kind of learn, like you don't have to have ever been to the Bronx, but if you listen to our podcast enough, you'll start to know what the phrases mean. You're like, oh, Bay Plaza, that's like a mall in the Bronx. Like you might never go there, but you know the reference, and you can kind of just picture it, and then you're just like, yo, this is our Bay Plaza here, and it's just like. You realize the Bronx is it's kind of like Sesame Street. It's just the location, but everyone has their own Bronx, no matter where they live. So it's just about, matching the places we talk about to the places where you live.
Yeah, there's something about the podcasting format, too, that makes people, like, it's so repetitive. You're listening to it while you go to work. Mm-hmm. So you start, Bay Plaza starts to get in your head.
Yeah. Right. It's like osmosis.
You're like, what's my Bay Plaza?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys remind me so much of when I used to live in New York, and I miss it. Like, I still think about like the weird characters, like the guy on the FDR Drive who had like
the sign,
out, and his little lawn chair and his little art exhibit.
Cast him every. He's still out there.
There's so many
he's still out there.
Yeah. I haven't been back to New York in 10 years.
He doesn't take money or anything. He's still out there, and he's like artsy and political, but not really.
Artsy, political, and weird.
But you know what? It's one of those things that you're just on the FDR, like, I hate New York. And you see it, you're like, whimsical. All right, back to
it. Now, a lot of politicians really like going on your show. Mm-hmm. So are there anybody who we should be expecting? Does anyone have a standing invitation to come on the show?
As the Democratic primary continues and, like, people are floating to the top.
Okay.
We'll probably get some of the bigger ones. The problem is right now there's so many people, and it's just like making that decision, and it's just like, do you really want to like give camera time to someone who's like polling at 1%? Like it might be a great interview, but you could do more than that. And then also it's just like, you don't want the election campaign to be like a reality show. Like if
Yes.
these people are actually running for office,
Right.
the actually people who have a chance of winning should get time on the show.
Right.
So we're just still trying to figure it out. But listen, if you got a big name, you could come on the show.
That's right.
That's excellent.
We're gonna wrestle Joe Biden.
I love that. Would Joe Biden be one of those people who would be invited
Oh, definitely.
to
Yeah,
the
come
show?
through, Joe.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We could arm wrestle.
Joe, Kamala, Elizabeth Warren.
What if Michelle Obama said yes to your show? What would you do with her?
Oh man,
If
whatever
Michelle-
she wants.
Whatever she wants. It'd be a special 5-hour episode.
Yeah.
We'd do everything. Like I'd be doing her hair, we'd be making pies, doing hand games, playing double dutch. I'm like, girl, what you talking about? Michelle. Just drinking Chardonnay. She's like, Barry be stressing me. I'm like, girl, tell me about it. Tell me about it, girl.
Tell me about it. Oh my God. What time did kids wake you up this morning?
Don't worry about it. Your hair looks beautiful.
Thank you.
I gotta take this call. It's Oprah.
Now you have writers working with you on your show. Have they ever pitched anything to you where you're like, absolutely not? I don't want to
It's never
absolutely not.
It's just kind of like this isn't really in our voice, and usually it's not a matter of like this is terrible. Change it. It's usually just like a quick shift like that because all the writers we work with are our friends in real life, and we hang out in the office. They get our slang, they get our mentality. They know what we would say, so they bring stuff, and it's just like maybe one thing is off, but everything else is perfect. So there's never that disconnect where it's just like, yo, what the hell are you writing? Like the writers, they write stuff, and you can see it right away. It's like this is a perfect fit for us.
Yeah, it was like a serious, arduous process to pick the writers' room because we didn't want like a 30-person writing room. We wanted like a small, diverse one. And we literally went through like 300 some odd packets of like people being like, hey, I want to be on the show. And you could tell immediately in an interview, you actually listen to us, you know of us, you're a fan, versus like, I'm just trying to get a gig. And we hire people that are like, we know your voice, we're fans, we've been listening since XYZ, and those are the people that are on the team now.
Have you ever pitched anything to the writers or to the producers where they're like, I don't know if we can do that?
Writers Fight Club. And they didn't want to do that. Like, perfect.
They were actually down. It's funny because they were actually down to do that. Like they have literally not said no to anything. They were like, "Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it."
Just a nervous chuckle in the room. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Let's workshop it.
Are we gonna actually hit each other for real?
I'm like live ammunition. Okay. Right? You guys are running on the beach. You got a 30-second head
You
start.
got 30 seconds. We're doing Saving Private Ryan all over again.
Now, what is the most deep cut Bronx reference you've
Most
made?
deep cut Bronx
You have
reference.
some deep
Ooh.
cuts that you can think of?
Homeboy 2000.
Yeah.
That was a jewelry store
Fordham
on the
Road.
bottom of Fordham Road that was open in 2000.
Yes.
That's where everyone, if you were dating in the Bronx, you would like, whoever you were dating, if you were dating a girl, you would get her, they had like the initial chains. So like, you know, if her name was Michelle, it would like be an M, and Minnie Mouse was like standing next to the M,
like,
kind of
hey.
sexy.
Nice.
And you'd have to put it on layaway and put a little money on it each week, and then you come through and give it to them. Or you
have-
go there and get your gold fronts there. So rest in peace, Homeboy 2000.
Yo, we miss you, homeboy. Too.
A simpler New York.
So you guys have become guinea pigs on your show. You are trying out weird things. I mean,
Yeah.
the last thing I saw you guys try out was non-alcoholic hard liquor.
Oh, wow,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
It was not hard.
It
It
was-
was hard to drink.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was
pretty
bad. It was like.
we have some mustard flavored ice cream here. If you,
Oh,
I saw
that on Twitter and I was like,
And you know
oh
what?
boy, here we go.
In my head, I was like, oh, we're gonna do that this
gonna try
week. But
that.
I was like, oh, we're on hiatus. But then I was just like, it doesn't sound that bad. That definitely sounds like a dessert they'll give you in first class. And it's like, what? You guys eat this?
Right.
What?
Everyone else, you just see some guy in front of you like, I love it.
It's a cranberry.
I've been eating mustard ice cream for 30 years.
Yeah, with cranberry sauce. It's amazing. Like, what?
Just put sardines on top of
They
it.
just stick a hot dog in it, like, as a garnish.
all right, I want just one open invitation from you guys. Who is welcome to come on at any time onto your show?
Oprah.
Absolutely.
Oprah, come through. Bring
Oprah.
that.
Yo, come
Oprah,
through.
we see in the garden. We know you be growing.
Oprah, listen. You seen Andy and Andy, Oprah and Gail, and your boys.
Yeah. I know Stedman. I was
what I'm
chopping it up
saying?
with him in Vegas. Come
Come
on,
through,
Oprah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
We're
like-
not gonna disrespect. We won't call you auntie.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be lit. We got a bridge chair for Stedman, yo. Come through.
We make collard greens, whatever you want.
You know what I'm saying?
We can watch The Color Purple and be like, yo,
All
you were
that.
so good in it.
Yo, you killed it. You crushed it. I
it.
cried. I really did cry.
I believe it. All right, guys. Desus Mero, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
so much fun.
Desus Mero on Showtime.
Showtime.
We're on
You know what I'm
hiatus,
saying?
but you'll be back in September.
That's
Back in
right.
September with fresh new
They're
LA
back.
jokes.
I'm gonna
Monday
say
to Thursday.
That's right.
11 o'clock.
Unless we get arrested leaving LA, which might happen.
Might happen. But it won't.